Welcome to the Men's Divorce Coach channel. I'm Rene Garcia, and as a divorce coach, it's my job to keep you informed, up to date, and help you in your development after getting kicked in the balls by your ex. As a divorce coach, I work with thousands of men to help them turn their life around because, let's face it, if you're watching this, there's a very high likelihood that your life didn't turn out the way you planned it. So make a one-on-one with me. It's free, it's confidential, and I'm gonna just throw it out there because it's true. It's life-changing. The link is in the comment section underneath. Just click on it and it'll take you there. When you're getting divorced, you got that trifecta of stress. You keep thinking of the past, wondering where you went wrong. Meanwhile, you're terrified of your future, wondering what's gonna happen, but your present, your today, it's virtually non-existent as you're completely distracted by the chaos that's going on around you. It's inevitable that mistakes will happen. It's a given. Here are some top 3 mistakes that you can make when getting divorced. But let's start revving that engine. So the first and most pernicious mistake that guys make has more to do with being clear on what you can and what you cannot do when you're getting divorced. And this is especially true when it comes to the money and your children. I've seen women get breast implants prior to filing for divorce, and of course they look the other way. So I told that to one of my clients. He got some work done, and sure enough, the courts, they look the other way. Yes, I realized I left Bikini Girl a little longer. Me, I spent over 5 figures in hair transplants after my filing, and it was never brought up. Of my clients, not one has ever been penalized for hiring me as a coach. It's only helped them because the courts, they don't have time for the petty little bullshit fights. The beauty is that because it's money coming from community property, she's partially paying for her ass kicking. The rule of thumb that I tell my clients, and I got this from several forensic accountants, is that unless they suspect it's over $50,000, it's probably not worth going after. Just too much risk-reward kind of thing. But make sure you do your research. And as mentioned earlier, this is especially true when it comes down to our children, because most of us, we're not prepared, and we end up giving her the power to mother. And this is especially true if your ex has daddy issues. Here's what happens. You're in a contemptuous divorce and your ex is using your kids as bargaining chips. It's fucked up, it's illegal, it's extortion, but it's also what happens to me and thousands of men right this second going through this shit. It's Jim Crow, and it should have never gotten to that point, but we allowed it, and the family courts, they look the other way. There's no penalties for the female when she's doing this to the kids. As I continue to interview men and reflect on why we allow this, I think that at a subconscious level, we, including me, in our twisted mind, we fall either into the mother knows best theory, or we allow it because we're under the false perception that we can go to jail if we do this. But what do? We bitch to our lawyer and we fight them in court. And yes, we're gonna gain custody, but we lost some valuable time here. Here's a story, and I'm sharing with you what takes place behind the scenes of a divorce. My ex and I, we were talking about, our divorce war stories. We're cool now, but back then there was a lot of shit that took place. I went 6 months without seeing my boys. But as old rival soldiers share stories, she and I, we were talking about our divorce playbook. What took place behind the scenes? 2 things happened regarding custody. First, she realized that she couldn't do it alone. Taking care of 2 toddlers was difficult, and her friends, as supportive as they were, they got tired of playing babysitter, and they stopped actually taking her calls, and they at one point said, take them to their dads. That's why I tell dads that when they're fighting for custody, the 100% thing, it's exhausting. And you begin parenting through guilt rather than just pure enjoyment. Second thing that happened, and more surprising to me, was that her attorney I hated her, and she gave me nightmares. She told her that the 100% thing is that it's probably not going to happen, not to spend more money than she needed to. And it was this time to start giving me some custody. The moral of the story is that even though you may hate your ex, don't hate her attorney, because for all you know, she's suing for peace and you're not even realizing it. So know your rights. And how do you do this? By getting smart and avoiding mistake number 2, stonewalling. Stonewalling is our thing. It's what guys do to avoid confrontation. We just put shit off, and that's probably what got you into this problem in the first place. We stonewall because we don't want to live our reality. Too scary. But stonewalling can lead to some catastrophic events. It's exactly why your ex has been dictating the terms of your divorce. It's why we wait forever to seek for help, and it's why you haven't gotten your ass off the couch and made a one-on-one with me. It's why your life is getting more and more difficult, and it's your enemy. It's why she's so far ahead of you and continues to outsmart you. But divorce, it's like the IRS. It doesn't give a shit if you need to catch some air, nor what state of mind you're in. It doesn't work like that. When it comes to divorce, we react. That's exactly what we do. And even our attorneys, they tell us to wait. And it fucks up our shit. And that's my biggest problem with family law attorneys. I don't see much original thought from them. And that's up to you now to make your due diligence and get the fuck ahead of the problem. And you know how your loved ones, how they say to focus on yourself? This is a great place to start. Don't stonewall. Stonewalling is a symptom of a bigger picture. And that's fear right there talking. Fear to let go, fear to stand up for yourself, and fear to move forward. That's why you don't put yourself out there, and that's why you need a coach like me to give you your options and to help you with solutions that are right in front of you. Point is to get on top of your shit and get ahead of the problem. And this is your life. This is where you define yourself, your legacy, as you dig deep in there and find that they, no one should be fucking with you. You're better than that, and so get ahead of your problems and outsmart that too big, good for nothing, pathetic excuse of a partner, because the only upper hand that she should have on you is that she planned it out like December 7th, 1941 was planned, looking and smiling at you and even screwing you, but the whole time getting ready to stab you in the back all along. And if you want to win, know that this marathon started a long time ago, and it's time for you to make up for some seriously lost time. So the third mistake, and this one I take personal because it took a decade of my life, and it's the reason why 63% of second marriages fail. So the third mistake is not giving your ass enough time to learn to live and become a single adult male. You go monkey branching from one relationship to another. Being single is a bigger responsibility than being married, and that's the scary part, because when married, if you fail, well, you're supposed to have someone to catch you, but being single, especially a single dad, is a whole other animal. It's responsibility on steroids, and it's a discipline because anything happens and you're screwed. Being single means being a morning, day, and night routine. It's responsibility to continue being self-directed, fit, sharp, clean, and organized. It's so much easier when you're with someone else, because those responsibilities, whether it be grooming or cleaning house, it just goes out the windows to just let yourself go. And that's one of the things that we do. But we got to remain disciplined. So what happens is you do as I did my last go around. You settle for something that needs you and you stay stagnant. I'm all about dating. Having a good time doesn't even have to be for the nappy dugout. It could be for your own growth, your own development, or just plain friendship, because God knows that we could use some new friends. Dating helps you in communication style, in setting barriers, learning to say no, and even abstract thinking. But if you limit your options to the first girl that you go out with, you're going to run the risk of never fully uncover just how desirable you are. I went from one ex-wife to another, fully knowing and accepting all my ex's red flags that I wouldn't dare accept today, because I know my value. And you need to understand that I'm a divorce coach for the same reason that you're watching this video, because we've both made some bad decisions that, looking back, we should have never made. When we go from one relationship to another with no in between, there's very little progress made. And I get guys asking me all the time, how do they trust after being burned? And I tell them, impulse control. Just like you don't put your hand on the fire after being burned, you gotta trust that you're not gonna make a stupid decision like that again. It's not about trusting the other person, it's about trusting yourself. It's about knowing that you're going to continue that growth mindset, and you're gonna continue challenging yourself, and that no matter what, it's about always challenging yourself. And if your future ex-wife will not accept that, then invite her to your journey. And if she won't do that, then you get her the fuck out of your ride. I get it. I understand that there comes a certain age where you want to build a future with someone. I guess that's my point. Don't waste your time with mediocrity. Be intentional, not just your best, but be your finest. Be at your level, and so that the girl that you meet next becomes one lucky lady, because you're in a good place and you built that man from broken to bionic, and now you're the prize. So here's my ask. If this video helped you in any way, let the YouTube gods know by pressing like, and make me part of your virtual family by subscribing. Let's get this puppy up to 6,000, and I can only do that with your help. And don't forget to make a one-on-one with me, because you're gonna leave the meeting feeling completely focused. So let's see, what was the first thing? Know your rights. Second, start with the stonewalling. And third, work on yourself and develop yourself before jumping into another relationship. Call me, I'll get you there. Thank you very much.